Good look at downtown Seattle. Classic shot. That's a picture known worldwide about this great city. As you look at the Space Needle looking towards downtown, as we get you ready for Mariner baseball this evening, Game 3 of a 4-game set with the Angels are in town, a surging ball club that's gone from 4th place to 2nd place. This is the night for the King. Happy Felix night, everybody. Felix Hernandez on the mound against C.J. Wilson. This is Mariner baseball from Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, Root Sports Crew. And we are ready for action. Let's take a look, Mike, at the lineups for the Angels against Felix Hernandez.
Thank you, Dave. And for manager Mike Scioscia, leading off, it will be Howie Kendrick. Mike Trout hitting second. 8-game hitting streak for Trout, 367 average over that time. Also is the one that has done the most damage to Felix, a 390 hitter with a couple of home runs against Felix. Pujols with a home run in the series. Then it's Freese. Raul Ibanez is the DH hitting 5th. Ibar, Calhoun, Conger, and Cowgill rounding out the 9 for the Angels. Take a look at Felix Hernandez and what he has done this year, looking for his 7th win on the year, 2.75 ERA, 74 strikeouts to only 14 walks. It's a great ratio for him. Opponents hitting 232.
This will be Felix's 37th start against the Angels, a record of 9 up, 13 down, a 3.89 ERA. He has pitched well last year or so against them. Dale Scott is the home plate umpire tonight. Dan Iasonia at first, C.B. Buckner at second, and Trip Gibson at third. 63 degrees here at Safeco Field. East out of wind out of the east at 4. Howie Kendrick has slumped a little bit. He was among the top 10 hitters in the American League. Here's the 1-1. Ground ball, Seager. No, and here's Franklin throwing across his body. Nice play. Got him 1 down. I'll take him a play throwing across your body going towards the third baseline.
It really is. Look at our McDonald's Supermo as Kendrick trying to get an infield hit. We've talked about Nick Franklin. He has all the tools, including a strong arm. And that one right on the money to get the speedy Kendrick for the first out of the game. Kyle Seager trying to dive just out of his reach, and a good play for Nick Franklin to stay with it. Made it look easy.
Here's Mike Trout. Let's hit strike one, a 390 hitter with 2 homers and 11 runs batted in against Felix.
I was chuckling a little bit there because after they were throwing it around, Cano threw the ball back to Nick, and a little bit of a low throw, and he almost stumbled and fell over after making a great play.
Very graceful, and then boom.
And I looked right at Cano, and he had his glove over his face. He was laughing about it. So was Nick. Felix in his last outing, this stuff was electric. He had been sick, and I thought his last outing was a good indication that he was all the way back. He topped out at 95 miles an hour in his last outing. He hit 95 a number of times. So we'll see where his fastball goes today. That last one, 93.
Felix going for his 4th consecutive win. Beat Tampa Bay here, 1 at Minnesota, and beat Houston here. This after stringing 3 no decisions. Month of May, 3-0 with a 3.18 ERA. Ball and 2 strikes to Trout. 1 for 3 last night. Angels come in, game and a half behind Oakland, 2nd place in the American League West. Mike Scioscia in his 15th year, dean of all the managers in the big leagues. Mariners 5.5 back in 4th place. 1-2. Scott refuses to help. It's 2-2.
Good moving fastball from Felix. That one at 94 miles an hour. 2-seam fastball, just missing down and in. It's been an interesting series to watch this year. If you look at the Mariners and the Angels, both of them 2-3 in the league in ERA. But the Mariners pitching, I think, has outpitched the Angels pitching, and that's the reason why they won the majority of these series. And there it is, 95 miles an hour fastball. Didn't mess around, threw it right down the middle of the plate. He flat threw it by Trout.
Trout now has struck out 60 times, and right now that ties him with Jason Castro of Houston, most Ks in the American League.
He tried to paint the 94-mile-an-hour fastball. The 2-seamer on the inside corner missed, and he threw that one right down the middle, but threw it by him. Again, 95 miles an hour. Good fastball from Felix.
Now he'll battle Albert Pujols. Felix has had the upper hand. Albert hitting his .207. And Albert having a tremendous turnaround from last year when he was injured. 4th in home runs. He's in the top 10 in runs scored. Slugging percentage is in the top 10.
14 home runs. He also has 13 doubles. Looking at his numbers across the board, the one that lets you know that maybe he's feeling a little bit better is he has 2 stolen bases this year. Certainly don't expect him to run, and last year he could barely get to first, but feeling better this year.
Plantar fasciitis in the left foot improved, healed. The back knee, his right knee, which drive leg. No problems with that. That's been taken care of. Home run and 9 Ks against Felix. Speed pitch dropped in there beautifully. 2-2.
Good looking curveball. Some late break to it. 82 miles an hour right at the bottom of the strike zone.
Strung him out. Great start for the King. 1, 2, 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Angels nothing across. Mariners coming back. Glad you're with us here at Safeco Field. Felix Hernandez in quest for his 4th consecutive win, off to a fine start, striking out Mike Trout and Albert Pujols to finish off the first inning. Mariners going to have their hands full with C.J. Wilson. Let's take a look at the Mariner batting order for tonight on Happy Felix evening here in Seattle.
I think Felix served notice to the offense tonight to get things going. Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Chevron. Jones will lead things off. Saunders with the night off, so Romero will hit second. Then it's Cano, Smoke, Kyle Seager. How about this homestand so far? 350 average with 4 RBIs for Kyle. Hopefully that continues tonight. Hitting 5th. John Buck, the DH. Hitting 6th. Ackley, Zunino, and Franklin. Buck in the lineup today. 3 for 5 off of C.J. Wilson. That's why Buck in there as the DH. And for C.J. looking for his 7th win on the season. ERA right at 3. In 69 innings, he has 64 strikeouts. Opponents hitting just .217 against him.
C.J.'s put up some good numbers since becoming a starter. How about this? Lefty's hitting .217 against him. Righty's hitting .217 against him. There's James Jones to lead it off. Lloyd McClendon today in his pregame media briefing. Very pleased with the youngster, but he said every day's a new day. Every day's a learning experience for this rookie. Seeing guys he's never seen before. Quite pleased with his progress to this point.
Well, I think the thing that'll be interesting, we saw it last night. It takes a little while for the league to catch up to hitters, but we saw Weaver last night stay really soft from slow curveballs. A lot of change-ups, show the fastball off the plate, and they come back with more off-speed pitches. So that might be the adjustment that Jones has to make.
On the line, Jones out of the gate hard. Calgill, the left fielder, knows to get it back in quickly, and he does. Fine start, James Jones. Mariners, first man aboard.
And he gets a fastball. It's a good fastball on the outside corner, and he just slices it right inside the bag. You can see the third baseman, Freese, playing well off the line. The left fielder, Cowgill, expecting him the other way, so he'd get a single out of it. But good hitting by Jones. Going with the pitch.
There's Stephen Romero batting in a 2-hole. Michael Saunders has been very successful the last couple of weeks batting second, but he's 3 for 23 against C.J. Wilson, despite the fact that Michael's a .303 hitter against lefty pitching.
This year.
Yeah, this year.
Right.
Lloyd wants to just go with the righty-lefty.
Well, one of the things that Lloyd also talked about was with Michael picking his spots to give him some time off, give him a break on his legs, and why not? You have one of the better left-handers on the mound, so I guess he felt that today was a good day for that.
My job is to manage. Their job is to play. I know what I see. Give him a chance to catch his breath. My job is to analyze. Their job is to play. He's something.
Well, he's right.
He is right. He's spot on. Correcting Romero with a great opportunity here. Wilson 7-3 here at Safeco Field with 3 saves and a 3.24 ERA. Of course, he was with the Rangers as a late relief man and then a closer. As an Angel since 2012, he's 3-0, 3.06 here in Seattle. Jones 4 for 4 in base stealing. There he goes. Got a great jump. Here's a throw down to second by Hanconger. Got him. First time he's been caught in the big leagues. He's out 2-4.
It's a good throw by Iannetta and a quick tag by Kendrick right on top of the helmet before his hand gets in there. So he is out. It looked like he tried to read Wilson as opposed to going with the first movement, and he got stuck on his slide too. Wasn't able to extend his arms out.
First time Jones has been thrown out. Good dig by Hank Conger, born in. Hank Conger's in there, born in Federal Way, grew up in Huntington Beach, California. 2-2 here to Romero. Slices one right side. Coming on is Calhoun for out number 2. Now brings up Robinson Cano, number 2 hitting man in the American League. He's tied for the league lead in multi-hit games with 22. Tied for 3rd in hits with 67. Just an all-around outstanding player, and just what we expected after the big number that he signed with signing here with the Mariners.
You know what else has been fun is you look at the veteran pitchers, especially the quality pitchers. His numbers seem to always be good. 355 hitter against Wilson in his career.
Yeah, 11 for 31. He had good numbers against Weaver yesterday. 394. Mariners won the first game 5-1. Chris Young was outstanding in that contest, and then last night Jared Weaver and the Angels won 6-4. And a comebacker to C.J. Wilson, and he throws the Pujols, tags. 10-pitch inning for C.J. Wilson, nothing across. Second inning coming up. How about this? It's the King of all posters. Coming up Sunday, all youngsters 14 and under, they're going to get a free Felix Hernandez poster. It's all part of Aquafina Little League Day here at the ballpark when the Mariners take on the Tigers at 1:10. Get your tickets for the entire team at mariners.com. Felix 1-2-3, 14-pitch first inning, struck out 2. Got Trout and Pujols, the hub of the offense for the Angels. He'll face Freese, Ibanez, and Ibar, 4, 5, and 6 here in the second inning.
Freese 1 for 4 last night. Hit a double off the center field fence. His first time up. Off to a slow start with the Angels. 221 average with a couple of home runs.
Banded that corner. 0-2. Small but vocal. Kings Court here tonight. 0-2. Got him. 3 consecutive strikeouts. 1 down here in the second inning.
And he went right after Freese. It was 3 fastballs, including this last one at 94 miles an hour, right at the top of the strike zone. And our McDonald Supermo, you can see the late swing by Freese. Wasn't able to catch up to the high fastball. So Felix has a good one again tonight.
The all-time fan faves here in Seattle. Here's Raul Ibanez.
Mariners will put the shift on with Ibanez hitting. Kyle Seager, the third baseman, will move around to the right side of the infield. Cano out on the grass along with Smoke. Smoke right on the line.
Raul coming up on his 42nd birthday, June 2nd. 242 hitter with the Mariners last year. 29 home runs, 65 runs batted in. 2 for 14 with a homer against Felix. Two more. Marvelous first half last year for Raul. Cooled off big time the second half of the season.
So far, it looks like Felix is going to save his changeup maybe for the second time through the lineup. He hasn't needed it yet. He's thrown a couple of curveballs, and he has a good fastball here at the start of the game.
Changeup early on. Remember he was 3-0, 1.91 ERA, and that thing was beyond electric. Changeup.
Unhittable. Another fastball. Wow.
And you got it, use them.
Yeah.
4 consecutive strikeouts, 2 down here in the second inning.
And I talked about in his last outing, he looked like Felix had started the season when he was unhittable, and he's healthy again. It feels good tonight. Another good fastball he throws by Ibanez. You know, the other part of that too, Dave, is he sees the Angels so much, and they're certainly aware of his changeup. Maybe he's just going to show him fastball first time through, try to get him off of the changeup, knowing that that's in the back of their mind, because he's been able to throw his fastball right by him.
Brings up Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Line drive, left field. Ackley towards the line, makes the catch. Dustin Ackley got an outstanding jump, and as you know, he's got great wheels. 6 up, 6 down for Felix. 9 pitches in that inning. No score. on Root Sports. Being brought to you by Ford. We are local. By AT&T. Mobilizing your world. By AM/PM. Too much good stuff. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting legendary rockers Blue Oyster Cult, June 28th. For tickets, go to emeraldqueen.com. Very pleasant evening here at Safeco Field. Glad you've joined us here for Mariner Baseball. Third game as you look in from the pen. They're doing good business as per usual. And so far, those fans and Mariner fans have been treated to 4 strikeouts of the first 6 men by Felix Hernandez. There's Justin Smoke against C.J. Wilson. Looks at strike 1. Smoke batting in a 4-hole. He hit an absolute rocket for a home run last evening, leading off the 4th. Way out front here. 0-2.
The Mariners this year have done a good job against left-handed starters. 13-8 record against lefties.
A.J. Wilson was talking to Mike Scioscia about him. It's a 4-seam, 2-seam fastball, cutter, curve, slider, changeup. It's the best we have at maintaining his repertoire with a high pitch count.
Let's go head and shoulders.
He will get deep into a ball game. Mike Butcher, pitching coach, says, you know, first you were talking about Felix changing up what he's going to throw. Wilson used half of that arsenal in the first part of the game, and next thing you know, there's a line drive. They come back with a different set of pitches, and it's really worked out well for him. He's Smoke. This piece of hitting there.
Take a look at Justin in the swing. It looks like a slider that's down in the zone, probably right at the bottom of the strike zone. He lines it into left field, much improved. Hitting right-handed this year, comes into the game hitting .247, hitting right-handed, so that average will go up.
Bring up Kyle Seager, 2 for 5 last night. Couple of singles, one to left, one to right. Lined out hard, hit a screamer back through the middle against Joe Smith. Joe snagged.
Well, they had the right guy at the plate last night, and Kyle, he's had a good homestand. We showed that to you, hitting .350 on the homestand, and the Mariners trying to make a run late in the game. In last night's game, they ended up losing that one 6-4, but Kyle came up with a couple of runners on and hit the ball deep out in the left center field. It was caught to end the game. Had some good swings on Frieri, the closer of the Angels.
Nice to see the Mariners fight back after Frieri got the first 2 outs, then a walk, RBI single and a walk. There was a little bit of hope there, and couldn't finish it off.
I felt good about it with Kyle at the plate. Had a couple of good swings early in that at bat against the fastball and fouled them back. As I said, eventually flew out deep to left center.
There you go, CJ.
And Kyle this year, the other part about it is Kyle this year, 6 home runs on the year, all 6 of them here at Safeco.
There's John Buck getting his first start at DH as a Mariner. Poor pitch, walk to Seager, so the Mariners building something here in the 2nd inning.
Mariners seen a lot of left-handed starters lately, and you can see what they have been able to do. Friday they had 5 runs scored on 9 hits. Then it was 3 again with 6 hits. Struggled against Keuchel. He really pitched well for Houston. And then Skaggs, they were able to put it to Skaggs. 7 hits, 5 runs. And now tonight, C.J. Wilson, just a couple of hits here early. So they've seen a lot of left-handers here on the homestand.
So John Buck DHing tonight. In his career, he's had 60 at bats, 1 home run, and a 183 batting average as a DH.
But he's 3 for 5. Not much of a sample size, but 3 for 5. Why not put him in there as a DH tonight?
3 RBIs.
Willie McClendon trying to figure out the DH spot with Corey Hart on the DL. So he's going to put Buck in there tonight, see if he has some luck with that.
John, the backup catcher, said, how are you going to deal with being the DH? He said, got to keep the heart rate up. Does it get through? No. Freeze. Throw it from his knees, retires him. John said he took a lot of advice from the big herd Frank Thomas, who promises the runners move up with one out. Take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA. Wrap it up with the Angels tomorrow. Detroit comes to town. Detroit, first place in the Central Division. Makeup game in New York. Go to see the Braves for 2 days, and then 4 days in St. Pete before coming home. Yankees in Texas, highlighting the first part of that homestand.
Angels will play their middle of their infield back. Corners are up. Just 1 out, so they have a chance to score a run here. Ackley can keep the ball in the middle of the diamond. They should pick up a run.
Ackley 5 for 21 against C.J. Wilson.
Strange road trip coming up. He's throwing that one game with New York, and then they have the night day in Atlanta, a night game in Tampa. Then it's 3 day games, so 4 day games out of the 7 games they're going to play. When you have good pitching matchups, Dave, you have to pick these runs up right here. You're not going to get many opportunities against CJ's been pitching well. And you have Felix on your side. Perfect pitch right on the outside corner, just getting a piece of the corner. A couple of tough pitches to Ackley.
Early opportunity here for the Mariners against good pitcher C.J. Wilson. 6-3 with a 3.00 ERA. Two and two.
Mike Zunino waiting on deck.
Two to Ackley. Popped it up and it is playing. Freeze. Out number 2.
It looked like Dustin was able to get a mistake from C.J. Wilson. A hanging breaking ball, 76 miles an hour. Sometimes it'll just spin, and that one stayed on the inside corner as he popped it up. So there'll be some clutch hitting now from Mike Zunino.
Mike Z's 1 for 5 against C.J. Wilson. Comes in at 230, 6 home runs, 18 runs knocked in. They had way off balance, a lot of breaking balls last night. Ball 1.
And he started him with a changeup tonight. 230 overall with 6 home runs. Tough series for him, 0 for 8. A good time for him to check in right here.
Two now.
C.J. Wilson, a veteran pitcher. First base is open. I don't think he will give in to Zunino. You have Nick Franklin waiting on deck. If he throws him a fastball, he's going to try to hit a corner with it, but I wouldn't be surprised to see an off-speed pitch here.
2-0 to Mike.
Slider and missed with it.
3-0. Mike Z's 1 for 5 against CJ, and Nick Franklin's 1 for 6. Nick's on deck. Trying to build up that batting average. He's up to 182.
Let's see if Lloyd McClendon will let Zunino hit here. 3-0.
Been a few weeks since we've seen somebody turn loose 3-0.
Well, it seems like it's been a few weeks, hasn't it?
In a stretch there was happened a couple 3 times. Striking the outside corner.
Still a good pitch right on the outside corner.
As Calhoun will get it back in. Mike Zunino coming through on a 3-1 pitch, a liner to right field, and the Mariners with a 2-0 lead. Mike picking up RBIs 19 and 20.
Clutch hitting from Zunino. Gets a pitch middle away and slices it into right. Inside out swing. Pick up a couple of runs. Clutch hitting again. 2 outs, picking up a couple of runs off of a tough pitcher. Good at bat.
Good to see for the young man. Smoke scored easily, so did Seager. Here's Nick Franklin. Ball 1 to Nick. Nick batting in a 7-hole last night, went 2 for 4, so he's taking his batting average from 138 up to 182. Ground ball foul.
A lot of pitches for Wilson in this inning. 23. Probably see that a number of times throughout the game. CJ throws a lot of pitches.
Yes, he does. Wide ball right field. Calhoun makes the catch, but the Mariners do come up big. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. 2-0 Mariners and King Felix. Brings in 2. The Mariners have an early lead. Time now for our CenturyLink link to what's next. And Matt Shoemaker called up. He'll get the start for the Angels against Brendan Maurer. Very pleasant day here at Safeco Field in Seattle. Glad you're with us here for Mariner Baseball. Felix Hernandez off to a fine start. 6 up, 6 down. He struck out 4. He's got Cole Calhoun, Hank Conger, and Colin Cowgill. Ball 1 to Calhoun. Here's the 1-0. All right, Tuna, one of the big pieces of baseball nomenclature is don't give in, when to give in, and if you can break that down a little bit more. You were talking about that with Zunino and a couple other guys.
Right. Well, there are a lot of situations for it. Sometimes it depends on who the hitter is, but I think in the situation we just had with Mike up there, it's more good play by Felix. Handles that without a problem. I think that basically what I was getting at, it wasn't necessarily that he was pitching around Mike to get to Nick, but because he has first base open, he has 2 outs and runners in scoring position. he was going to make Mike hit the pitch that he wanted him to hit, and that's why 2-0. He threw him the slider and missed with it. And it doesn't mean that he won't throw him a fastball, but if he throws it, he's going to want to paint it on the corner, which is what he did on the 3-0 pitch. But the 3-1 pitch, he tried it again, got a little bit too much of the plate, and Mike made him pay for it. So sometimes you'll have a situation where you'll pitch around somebody because of the hitter. Cano, we've seen that, where maybe they don't intentionally put him on, but they'll throw some pitches wide to try to get him to chase it. As we get this fly ball out to center field. Jones will have a handle on it. But I think that in that situation, you're going to see that more from veteran pitchers because they're not worried if he walks them about the next guy necessarily. He's going to want to make a pitcher's pitch. And when you're not going to do that, it's something that I thought was great the other night. Michael Saunders, we've talked a lot about Michael and the success that he's had. And he acknowledged the fact that, hey, I have Robinson Cano hitting behind me. You know, so most of the time pitchers, even though in that situation where they may have first base open, they're probably going to go after Saunders a little bit harder, or tonight Romero, who's in the lineup, because you have Cano waiting on deck. And that way, they're going to have to throw some pitches on the plate because they don't want to walk them, knowing that Cano can hit.
8 up, 8 down for Felix Hernandez. 2 outs here in the third. Here's Colin Cowgill, the left fielder. Strike right there. 1-1. Cowgill getting his first look at Felix Hernandez.
Another good breaking ball from Felix. That's one of the things we saw in his last outing and now today. And we saw it early in the season, Dave. You were talking about it with his changeup. His breaking ball has a lot of bite to it, whether it's his curveball or his slider, whichever one he decides to throw. There's some late movement on it. There's another good one.
Oh, boy. 2-2.
And you can see the location of it perfect. Looks like it's a pitch that's going to be belt high in the middle of the plate. And he swings over the top of it. Again, not many changeups from Felix tonight, but he hasn't needed it.
Felix with 4 strikeouts. He's got 2-2 count with 2 outs. Fastball went right after him. Strike 3 call. Felix with 5 strikeouts, 9 up, 9 down. Needed 9 pitches in the third. Game on. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Seattle City Light, visit seattle.gov/WePower for more information. And by Jack in a Box, head to Jack in a Box and try the new Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. James Jones just attempted a bunt, missed it for strike 1. Leading off the home third here against C.J. Wilson. Mariners lead 2-0. Mike Zunino singled in 2 runs. And Trip Gibson said that Jones did commit, so he's in an 0-2 hole. Got a base hit to left and was thrown out trying to steal second. First time he's been caught stealing this season. Jones playing in his 24th game.
He's able to pick up his base hit on a fastball. He hit it past the third baseman Freese. And now in this at bat, it's been a couple of breaking balls to him. We talked about it last night. He was seeing a lot of off-speed pitches from Weaver. And now it's a couple of curveballs in a row from C.J. Wilson.
0 for 5, couple Ks last night for James Jones. 0-2. Got in the way that Conger. He's got to hurry. Safe. Boy, that speed's something else, isn't it? What a great dimension to have to this ball club. A strikeout and a wild pitch.
He waves at a slider, but you have to like the fact that he didn't hesitate at all. He busted it out of the box right away. It looked like Conger was able to get out from behind the plate in good shape, but Jones takes out right away and just beats it. The Mariners get their leadoff runner on again. Jones, we talked about it, was able to get on in the first inning. Did not score in that inning, but that's 3 innings in a row. The leadoff hitter has reached. Jones with a hit, then Smoke with a hit. Now he reaches on the strikeout.
He knew he was safe, too. See him call it there as he's going across. I got it. It's not a bad facility to have. You know you're that fast and you just know you beat it. Hey, I got it. Don't worry. Must be nice. Here's Romero, flat out the right, shows bunt. Takes a strike.
You can tell me about it. You were a former running back. You must have had some wheels. I had no chance.
Not that good. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's way off the scale.
He's fun to watch. He is fun to watch.
Breaking ball, hit down to Freese. Throws to Kendrick, and down the line Romero. He beat it out, a slow roller. And Jones did a good job getting into Kendrick there, trying to making a turn.
Good play by Freese. The ball is not hit hard. They were just trying to get the lead runner, and they're able to do that. That'll be a 5-4 fielder's choice. Good hustle by Romero to keep him from doubling him up.
Nice job. Brings up Robinson Cano, hit a comebacker to C.J. Wilson. That ended the first inning. 2-out, 2-run single by Mike Zunino has the Mariners in front. Ground ball to Pujols. And nice dig by Ibar. And a 3-6-3 double play ends the Mariner third. Mariners lead at 2-0. Felix night, everybody. Make sure you say hello to Robinson Cano's first bobblehead as the Seattle Mariners coming up on Saturday. Make sure to arrive early. Be one of the first 20,000 fans that pick up this great giveaway. Thanks to the folks at Root Sports. Get your tickets for Robinson Cano bobblehead night. Mariners will be taking on the Tigers. Go get them at mariners.com. Robinson Cano for 2 tonight. And he is a lot of new fans here in Seattle. How about the King? 9 up, 9 down, 5 Ks through 3.
And again, he hasn't used his changeup. He hasn't needed it. Really good fastball. He's topped out at 95. He's used his curveball and his slider. I think, again, he sees the Angels so much he might be saving it tonight in case he gets into trouble. But he really hasn't had it. There's another good curveball for a strike.
Howie Kendrick rounded out to short. 1-1. Woo! Right through the box. Glad Felix ducked. Screaming line drive, first hit, first base runner.
This looks like the slider leaves it in the middle of the plate. Ooh, that was close. A lot of the time you see this and it looks closer than it is, but this one is right back at him.
Howie Kendrick breaks an 0 for 12 for him. And a 10-game hitting streak snapped on Monday. Here's Mike Trout. Struck out in a 2-2 pitch. First inning. Texans 1-0 lead at Minnesota, top of the 8th right now.
And there's the changeup.
Next team in here. Here's the Trout head. I like the Kings ground a heck of a lot better. Detroit and Oakland. No score, top of the 4th in Oakland. Trout fouls one off, 1-1.
Well, second time through the lineup. First base runner for the Angels. Back-to-back changeups from Felix. Talking about first time throw, he hadn't thrown the changeup, staying with his curveball and slider. Good fastball tonight. So that's back-to-back changeups now with a base runner.
1-1 pitch here to Trout. Time called. Houston beat Kansas City 9-3. Mr. George Springer, the youngster, hit his 9th home run
of the month.
Not bad.
No.
Cozart gets the win. He's 4-4.
I think for Springer, that's 6 home runs in 6 games or something like that.
Carter hit 2 home runs. Now back. And you will have highlights of that ball game a little bit later. Felix sitting on 5 strikeouts. He and Trout have had some really good battles these last couple of years. Kendrick decent lead at first. 1-2 pitch.
Good fastball. Just missed the bottom of the strike zone.
2-2 the count. High. Full count to Trout with Pujols on deck. Kendrick at first. 3-2 pitch. Fouled it off his foot.
This is a two-seam fastball running in on his hands. See if he hits himself in the shin or the top of the foot. Oh, right off the back knee. That's unusual. You don't see that often. Typically they'll beat it off that front leg, but that was off of his back knee.
Veteran trainer Jeff Smith out to attend to Trout. Jeff goes back. At least he can smile about it. Got to be barking pretty good.
Young man, he'll shake it off.
3-2. First walk of the ball game by Felix Hernandez. Angels have the first 2-minute board here in the 4th inning for the dangerous Albert Pujols.
Strikeout percentage, the pitches that Felix uses, and you can take a look at it in April. Not many fastballs, more fastballs here in May. Changeup has really gone down. A lot of changeups in April, now just 41%. Going to more curveballs for Felix, so it's interesting to watch that as you compare the 2 months and the strikeout pitches that Felix uses.
Here's Albert, struck out on a 2-2 pitch, ending the first inning. Ball 1. Pujols top 10 at 5 big offensive categories. Got a 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball goes foul. Pujols steps out. Second time this season Felix is facing the Angels. Beat him in the opener 10-3 in Anaheim. Pitch to Pujols, swing and a miss. 1-2.
Take a look at the last pitch. That looks like the changeup again, 90 miles an hour. His pulls to swing over the top of it.
2-0 and a 2-run, 2-out single by Mike Zunino in the second. 1-2 to Albert. Fouled it away. One team the Mariners will see next week, the Atlanta Braves. They lost at Boston 4-0 tonight. John Lackey picks up the win for Boston. Mariners will also see Tampa Bay on the next road trip. And the Rays lost at Toronto 3-2. And the Jays on fire. Won 10 of their last 11. That's 9 in a row for Toronto.
Encarnacion, don't pitch to him.
Oh. Fly ball, left field. Here's Ackley getting under it. 1 out. Big out, too. One out, 2 on. Brings up David Freese, struck out on 3 pitches, leading off the second inning. Well, he's in a friendly lot. He's a lucky man.
That's an Angels jersey.
That's what I'm saying. He's a lucky man. Must be co-workers or family members gotten him a break. Talking to Mike Trout about that. He's a Millville, New Jersey guy, Philly area guy, and he went back and I said, what was it like? He said, dude, it was unbelievable. Everybody was cheering for me. He says, and I know, I'm an Eagles fan. I go to Eagles games, and if somebody else has the other team's jersey on, you're giving it to them. He says, I didn't hear anything from the crowd the 2 days they were there. I said, wow.
That's a lot of respect because that's unusual.
Yeah. I said, you know, that's probably the last time that's ever going to happen for you.
He acknowledged it, I'm sure.
Yes, he did.
Well, from the area, he probably wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it was. He said it was mind-boggling. Standing ovation. PA announcer Dan Baker gave him a just rousing intro.
Well, Socha's from back there, isn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Socha's always breaking his chops because, come on, we're on the Philly side. You Jersey guys, we used to go over there and kick your butt. He rides him all the time about it. 1-1. Runner takes off. Throw down to third. He's neat. Howie Kendrick tried to steal third. Zunino would have none of it.
We'll take a look at it. It's a poor jump by Kendrick and Zunino right behind the hitter. That's the tough part with a right-handed batter, but that throw easy for Kyle Seager to handle, and they put the tag on Howie Kendrick as you take a look at the McDonald's Supermo. He tried to pull his arm back. Kyle stayed with it. Good play by Zunino again. That's the hardest part with that right-hand hitter. You have to clear yourself to make the throw. Mike did an excellent job of it.
1-2. And Felix finished the inning with a flourish. His 6th strikeout. And a big part of completing that inning. Great footwork, great throw by Mike Zunino to get Howie Kendrick to throw him out at third. The Angels are blunted here in the 4th inning. Mariners lead it 2-0. Unleashed from the rules of wireless restrictions. How about Mike Zunino? 3-1 pitch, 2 out, 2 on, and he singles to right field in the 2nd inning, scoring Smoke and Seager. The Mariners have a 2-0 lead for Mike Z. RBIs 19 and 20, and Felix Hernandez has done the rest through 4. Felix with 6 strikeouts, giving up no runs on 1 hit, 6 strikeouts and 1 walk. And I'll tell you what, a mishmash, eclectic set of Ks, but they all tell a story. Here's a fly ball right field and deep going into the corner. Calgill, that is a fair ball. Smoke will get a ground rule double. But Justin Smoke 2 for 2 night, swinging the bat right-handed.
That'll bring out Mike Socha. Albert Pujols immediately said that it was a foul ball. We'll take a look at it. This ball stayed in the air a long time. They were playing him out towards right center. And we'll see where this lands, see if he gets a piece of the chalk.
Nope. They're going to win that one. First base umpire Dan Iasonik.
Yeah. go have a conversation with Dale Scott. Dale Scott, crew chief, and they will take a look at it, and I'm sure that will be overturned. Justin will have to come back to home plate with an 0-1 count.
Smoke Seager and Buck here in the 4th inning for the Mariners.
Dale Scott, the crew chief, good umpire, has been around for a long time, does an excellent job, and has his work cut out for him tonight with Felix and Wilson on the mound. Have to stay with those guys, but so far he's done a really good job behind the plate. And we'll take another look at it. And it appeared. Oh, that's close. Yeah. Well, I mean, it was close coming down. It looked that it was going to have a chance, but it's clearly foul.
Is that a case, you know, when you're taught how to catch fly balls, stay on your toes, so that ball doesn't bounce up and down? I wonder if he's running down to first and his eye level's bouncing up and down.
Maybe yeah, that could have happened. Yeah, that's exactly. It's a great point, Dave, because as an outfielder, that's what they teach you when you're running, to stay on your toes so your eyes aren't bouncing. But sometimes I think with the umpires, they're trying to get out there and get the best look that they can. So they're moving as quickly as they can, and sometimes that might be the case. But
42 seconds on that review time. Smoke is single to left field in the 2nd inning, leading off, and came around to score with 2 outs on the Zunino. 2-run single.
Tried it again. Almost the same pitch as the first pitch he hit down the line that was foul.
Big leap here, watching him swing the bat right-handed this year from last year.
And he really struggled from the right side, made a big difference in his overall season, and this year again he's at around 250 hitting from the right side. Big difference for him. Last year, he was somewhere around the 180 mark. He really had struggled, so improvement for Smoke. We already showed you all the left-handed pitching they've faced on this homestand, so it's helped them.
One and 2 from C.J. Wilson. Swing and a miss. Got him. Tag applied by Conger. Second strikeout for C.J. Wilson. 1 out here in the 4th. Central Division leading Tigers come to town. Their only visit. Look at these pitching matchups. Verlander against Iwakuma. Drew Smiley against Chris Young. And Max Scherzer against Elias. Get your tickets now. That should be something. A chance to meet Brad Alsmus, former catcher. Now in his first year as skipper of the Detroit Tigers, taking over for the retired Jim Leyland. Line drive. Howie Kendricks got it 2-0.
The hitters are going to have to buckle up for the weekend. That's going to be a tough weekend for the hitters.
That will be something.
Next pitch will be 50 for C.J. Wilson.
Since becoming a starter started in 2010, C.J. Wilson racked up a good record, 67-35, a 3.34 ERA. Here's John Buck DHing tonight. John got advice from the great Frank Thomas, headed to the Hall of Fame this year. As mentioned earlier, keep the heart rate up, ride the bike, get in the weight room, and get down and get in a catcher squatting position and try to stay mentally in the game. And then about 3 batters before his turn, he wants to be in the dugout, ready to get up on that top step and be mentally attuned to the game. First time John DHing as a Mariner. It's a pitch on the outside corner, 1-2. Big hit yesterday, Education Day, Mr. Buck. He was something else at South Shore. Pretty good when you can go in there and get a bunch of middle schoolers and sort of have them eating out of the palm of your hand. It was impressive.
Get them excited.
Yeah, he
got fired up.
Yeah, he did. Good job. I thought about going to play football. He was a tight end and long snapper in high school, but he chose the baseball route.
would say it's worked out for him.
Yes, indeed. Been in the big leagues since '04.
Yeah, it's a good battle with C.J. Wilson right now. Coming into the game, he had been 3 for 5 off of C.J.
One, two. John can keep it going. Dustin Ackley would be next. John Buck, product of southwestern Wyoming. He's got a 2-2 pitch, fouls it off.
And a good swing at that fastball. It was the first fastball that was elevated for him, up out over the plate. Good aggressive swing at it. Missed it.
Two and two. Work the full count.
And he's making C.J. Wilson work. Will be the 9th pitch for this at bat. Dustin Ackley waiting on deck.
2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th. Mariners 2-0 on a Mike Zunino 2-run single. Here's a pop-up. Howie Kendrick puts it away, and that'll do it. Mariners go 1-2-3 in the 4th. Felix Hernandez back out on the mound for the 5th. No runs on 1 hit. He's got 6 strikeouts. 2-0 lead as well. Night here in Seattle. Hey, Mariner fans, barbecue recipe pizzas have hit the menu at Pizza Hut for a limited time. Try all 3 flavors for just $11. Honey barbecue chicken, smokehouse barbecue, and Hawaiian barbecue. Real barbecue, unreal pizza. Visit pizzahut.com to order now. Brought to you by your locally owned Pizza Hut. Make it great. Breaking ball to Raul Ibanez. Starts him off. Strike 1. Felix has struck out 6. At one point, he struck out 4 consecutive hitters. Walked 1, giving up 1 hit. That was to Howie Kendrick. Playable. Here comes Smoke. 1 out. I'll bring up Eric Ibar. He lined out to left in his first at bat. White Sox beat Cleveland 3-2 tonight. Ryan Howard, 3-run game-winning homer in the 9th in Philly to beat Colorado 9-3, or 6-3, beg your pardon. Pitch outside to Ibar. Washington lost at home to Miami. How about Miami? 28-25. I don't think anybody saw that.
No, I don't think so. They got such a great start playing at home. They were really playing well at home.
And this is with losing Fernandez right after we were down there. Talking to a couple of people earlier today who had seen Fernandez. They said he's just special. Same category as your Felixes and Verlanders and people like that.
Well, they have a couple of them on that team, because I can tell you this, that right fielder is too.
Oh, who was that?
Stanton.
Oh, did you see the throw he made last night?
I did.
Holy mackerel, come on. Going to the gap hard to his right and then threw it back across his body to double up the runner at first. Get out of here. Through the hole, base hit. Now, you want to talk about great throws. Did you see 50 Cent?
I did.
So did I. Buck O'Neil, God rest his soul, is rolling over after seeing that one. Jeez. There's Cole Calhoun.
Cole grounded back to Felix his first time up. Second base hit that he allowed to Ibar.
Back up your point about Miami, 20-8 at home.
Yeah, playing well at home.
I did have some bad news. Henderson Alvarez, a countryman of Felix, had to leave today's ball game with some elbow issues. Every day, there's somebody every day. Unbelievable.
That'll be interesting to watch over the next couple of years, if this is just one of those years where the pitchers are going down, or if it's going to be something that'll continue over the next few years.
How about the Burnett kid last night? He had to leave with an elbow in this game, in this series. Talked to Mike Butcher, pitching coach for the Angels, and he said same thing that you and I talked about. 12-month-a-year baseball. Nobody's cross-training. Nobody's playing, like most guys. You and I play football, baseball, basketball, right?
Yeah, whatever season it was, that's what we played.
Right. And it might get another theory, too. You got right-handers, like Felix is in the middle of the rubber. And if you're opposite, this one fouled back. It changes the plane of the way you throw the ball. And you
throw it back across your body.
Yeah, that. Sometimes where you push it.
Oh, push it back. Yeah, if you're on the other side.
Right. He said that's a factor. He thinks that's something that could really he thinks that's it's rearing its head and hurting people.
I think it's also there's such an emphasis on the gun and what these kids are throwing these days, and they're all trying to pump that up.
Runner goes. Throw by Zunino into center field. Stolen base for Ibar, his third.
Not sure what happened on that. It looked like there was going to be a chance to get Ibar. Nick Franklin, good pitch to throw on for Zunino. Might have been better off reaching out in front and making the catch out there. That'll be a stolen base for Ibar.
2-2. Kendrick was thrown out trying to steal third in the fourth. Ibar successful here in the fifth. Two to Calhoun. Swing and a miss, got him. Tag applied by Zunino. 7th strikeout for Felix. 2 down here in the 5th. Calling all students. Take a break from the books and head to Safeco Field Friday for college night. For only $10, you're going to get a ticket to the Mariners-Tigers game and enjoy happy hour pricing up until first pitch including $5 beers. Plus, it's Mariners Fedora Night, free to the first 20,000 fans. So get tickets right now at mariners.com/college. 2 outs, runner at second, Ibar. Here's Hank Conger. Switch hitting catcher. Fine job by Zunino. All one.
With Conger hitting, the Mariners again, a little bit of a shift. Seager staying where he's at, but Nick Franklin moving over to the right side of the infield. Couple of outs here.
Two-0 to Hank, who flied out to center. Mariners got their runs in the second with 2 outs. Runners at second and third. 3-1 pitch to Mike Zunino, and he's singled to right field, scoring both runs. Willis did good rhythm on that one. He's way behind here, 3-0. Career record of 9-13 against the Angels. Since the start of 2013, 3-1 with a 2.92. Center field, Cameron Jones. He's there. So no runs, a hit, no errors, and a man left. Another good inning for Felix. He strikes out his 7th hitter tonight. He's got a 2-0 lead. Austin Ackley's going to lead off, followed by Mike Zunino and Nick Franklin. Bottom third of the order against C.J. Wilson. Struck out 2, walked 1. Giving up 2 runs on 3 hits. First hit was James Jones, a base hit, leading off the home first. And then 2 hits in the second inning. Smoke, and a 2-run single by Zunino. Ackley fouled out to the third baseman David Freese his first time. 2-0. Popped up. Ibar's got the angle, gives way to Freese. Second time Freese has recorded an out against Ackley. Here's Angie Mensah.
Guys, thanks so much. We take a look at the AT&T fan photos of the game. Make sure you tweet your photos to hashtag Mariners fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming broadcast. First, we've got Chelsea. They say they are headed to see the king. Pretty ladies there. And I am so jealous of this little man. He's got his king's crown on and his Batman pajamas. I mean, I'm not going to lie, guys. That's the way I wish I was watching this game. Back to you.
Oh, that is cool. Nice. Very nice. There's Mike Zunino. Thank you, Angie. It's counted for both runs for the Mariners. 3-1 pitch, single to right. Scoring Smoke and Seager in the second inning. Working inside, missed off the plate, 2-1. Oh, cloud movement, creating some nice colors here, and sun reflecting off the roof. Right field. Here's a fly ball, right field. Calhoun backs up a little bit. 2-away. Get on base with incredible savings and freedom of riding Sound Transit. Plan your next trip, visit soundtransit.org. View from the pen, plenty of activity out there. Here's Nick Franklin, flied out to right his first time. Detroit 1-0 at Oakland now, bottom of the 6th. Arizona 10, San Diego 4. That's top of the 5th in Phoenix.
Texas at Minnesota final. Rangers win 1-0.
Don't see very many 1-0 games,
no.
Especially in this league.
Especially involving the Rangers.
Oh my goodness. 1-2 to Nick. Yankees and the Cardinals playing in St. Louis. Last time that happened was the '64 World Series. Won in 7 games by Bob Gibson and the Cardinals.
Looked like Brendan Ryan was having a good time in that series. They were talking to him before the game. He was having fun. Former Cardinal, former Mariner.
He was recently off the DL. Oh, 2 strikes. He's caught looking. 1, 2, 3. 7 in a row retired by C.J. Wilson. Mariners, though, lead at 2-0. Sports being brought to you by Pizza Hut. Make it great. By Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Now at your Honda dealer. And by Silver Reef Casino. I-5 exit 260, 4 minutes west. Beautiful night here This Wednesday, the 28th of May. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Root Sports crew. Happy Felix night. And it has been through 5. He's got 7 strikeouts. 2-hit shutout ball. A higher Kings Court. You tell him.
That's great. Yeah, it looks all the way back up above the Kings Court sign. Almost up on the railing up
That's
there.
Great. 9-1-2 here in the 6th. Cowgill, Kendrick, and Trout. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Dan Iassogna. Cowgill, strikeout victim, ending the 3rd inning. No.
And the next pitch for Felix will be 70. So far in good shape with his pitch count.
It's 3-0. Cowgill, a 9-hole hitter, came in hitting .281. Howie Kendrick's on deck. He's got one of the 2 hits. Got the first one. It's back in the 4th. And a 4-pitch walk. Second walk issued by Felix. Back to the top of the order. We have another Coors Light Silver Bullet Saturday on May 31st. It's against the Tigers. First 400 fans who enter the Root Sports Pen for early happy hour at the Rail Bar, they're going to get a free Silver Bullet Saturday t-shirt and extended happy hour pricing up until first pitch. Plus, catch especially marked Coors Light Baseball during Mariners BP on a Silver Bullet Saturday and win tickets to an upcoming game.
Wow, Felix coming out 5 balls in a row from Felix. Takes a walk back behind the mound. Tried to regroup. Kendrick hit a slider. It was right back at Felix. Just missed him for the first base hit for the Angels tonight.
First strike in the inning. Just inside to Howard. 2-1. This series tied at 1-1. Mariners winning the first game 5-1. Angels come back 6-4 last night. On the season, the Mariners have won 5 of 7 against the Angels. It's a 1 pitch. Just inside again. 3-1. It's like that golf swing sometimes. First 5-6 hole, par, par, birdie, 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 and then what?
Well, hopefully he'll be able to recover from hitting one in the rough.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I do, exactly. He's struggling a little bit here with his command. That has not been an issue in this game.
Double play opportunity, and they're going to convert it.
That'll help.
Sure will.
Sand save.
There it is.
Looks like a good fastball in on the hands of Kendrick. Jams him right to Nick Franklin. An easy turn for Cano. Good timing with Mike Trout. walking to the plate. Trout today 0 for 1 strikeout and then a walk, but a .390 hitter off of Felix in his career.
Mike, a strikeout and a walk this evening. Clendon, right-hand man Trent Jewett, pitching coach Rick Waits. Part of a brand new staff here with the Mariners. 2-0. Make it 3-0.
And this next pitch will be 80 for Felix. Pujols waiting on deck.
Get back on the rails here. 3-0. 3-1. Smoke's going to take a look. Got a chance. Big out. Big out. Trout fouls out. Felix laughing because he knows he did not have it that inning. Thank you, Justin Smoak. 2-0 Mariners. Nothing. Felix struggled through that 6, but the double play a big help. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 12 years. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in True HD on more than 400 devices. Go to Mariners.com for details. There's James Jones starting the 3rd time through against C.J. Wilson. Top of the order. Jonesy, Stephen Romero, and Robinson Cano.
James been able to reach base both times. Had a base hit, and then he ended up striking out. Pitch that was in the dirt. Conger did a good job of blocking it, but with his speed, he was able to beat the throw to first. So he's been on a couple of times.
The play is Alan Kendrick. Easy out. One out here in the 6th. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Colors, as we talked about earlier, with the sun going down a nice, just a terrific look above Safeco Field. A great palette above the ballpark. Romero 0 for 2, fly to right, reached on a fielder's choice. Mariners not had a hit since the second inning.
We didn't figure there would be much offense in this one. The Angels with just 2 hits, and the Mariners fortunate to have 2 runs on just 3 hits. For Mike Zunino, the difference in this game, his base hit to drive in a couple of runs with 2 outs, the difference.
2-2.
There you go.
Finds a whole base hit. First hit since Zunino's knocked for the 2 runs.
Now we'll get to the middle of the lineup for the Mariners, but good hitting here by Romero. Pitch down, right on the outside corner, goes with the pitch and finds a base hit into right field.
Bring up Robinson Cano 0 for 2. And for Romero, that base hit ended in 0 for 16.
Cano 0 for 2. His average has dropped all the way down to an even 330 now.
Started at 333. Number 2 hitter in the American League. He's fun to watch. One to Cano.
Angels defense straight up with Cano hitting, except for Trout. He is shading towards left center field.
One of the most relaxed players you've ever seen.
Without question, and the great ones usually are. If I had that swing, I'd have been relaxed too, Dave. I had to work a lot harder. I mean, it's unreal, you know. It's.
You had Junior here.
Yeah, Junior. He was, yeah. He looked like he was playing a wiffle ball game in the backyard. He usually won.
Hope to see him next week when we're in Tampa Bay. St. Petersburg. He's 1-2. Albert. Another 3-6-3 double play, both on Cano. How about that? Albert will be riding him tomorrow during BP. 2-0 Mariners. To you by Vern Fonk Insurance. Bad luck can hit anyone. Insure with the 13th man, Vern Fonk Insurance. And by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. Good times here in Seattle as Felix on the mound with a 2-0 lead, 7 strikeouts, limiting the Angels to 2 hits. Mike Zunino, the hitting star thus far, with a 2-out, 2-run single in the second, the only scoring in a ball game. Felix had a shaky 6th inning, but a double play really bailed him out. He had a 4-pitch walk to Calgill, went 3-1 on Howie Kendrick, then got the double play. His Pujols to lead it off. Albert 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a fly to left.
Just 81 pitches for Felix, working here in the 7th inning. 81 pitches, 46 strikes for him.
Knocks him off with a breaking ball for strike. Pujols, Freese, and Ibanez here in the 7th. Big spot here, 1-1. Good pitch.
Albert didn't think so. A good pitch right on the inside corner.
Looking for strikeout number 8. D. Sarcina, former Angel player and a good one.
Good shortstop.
Yes, he was. One, two.
And for Felix, his last 3 starts against the Angels, 10 strikeouts or more.
2 to Pujols. Center field for James Jones. 1 out here in the 7th. It'll bring up David Freese, who's twice struck out tonight. World Series hero a couple of years ago with his hometown St. Louis Cardinals. Over here now with the Angels in a Peter Borges trade. Felix's next outing will be in one of his favorite haunts, Yankee Stadium. Strike low into the zone. Back him off on a 1. Breaking ball. Smoke stays with it. Felix doing his job. 2 down. Got some good hands down there, big man.
He does. That last ground ball looked like he hit off the heel of his glove, but they're soft hands, so the ball stayed close to him. He was able to make the play. Good job by Felix to hustle over. We'll take another look at ball. Will come up right off the heel of his glove. And fortunately, Felix having to reach for the base.
I always worry about the long pants and tripping on those. Raul Ibanez 0 for 2.
We've seen that with him a couple of times where he'll run to first and he's watching the play and he doesn't quite get close enough and you see him reach out with that leg, and we've seen him actually turn his ankle a couple of times doing that over the years. Right into the shift.
Nice job by Felix Hernandez. Justin Smoak will be coming up upon our return here to Safeco Field, where the Mariners have a 2-0 lead. Seventh inning stretch being brought to you by Washington's Lottery and the Department of Imagination. What would you do if you won? Great to have you with us here tonight at Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Roots Sports crew on hand here is Justin Smoak, Kyle Seager, and John Buck. Gonna swing the bat here in the seventh inning against C.J. Wilson. Felix Hernandez. And 7 strikeout performance. 2-hit shutout through 7. Smoak tonight with a base hit to left and run scored. And a strikeout. Mike Zunino, a 2-out, 2-run single in the second inning. Right now, the difference in this ballgame.
We were talking about CJ, and we'll take a look at the home run. Seattle Light, City Light power play for Justin Smoak. His 7th home run of the year. Leads the club in home runs now. But CJ's been efficient. We're talking about him throwing a lot of pitches, and that hasn't been the case tonight. He's throwing a lot of strikes. 83 pitches, 51 strikes for him.
He has been a triple-figure guy the entire season. He's over 100 every start. 2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So she's saying it. Wilson able to maintain his stuff. A high pitch count, and he strikes out Smoak looking. 4th strikeout for CJ. 1 out here in the 7th.
Gets him on the changeup. That'll bring up Kyle Seager. Kyle 0 for 1. He walked and scored in the second inning. He lined out to the second baseman.
Ball 1 to Kyle. 3-0. Seager 3 for 27 against C.J. Wilson. Green one.
He's in good shape now. See if he can get a fastball. He threw him a fastball 2-0. It was a well-located fastball in the outside corner and down. Maybe Kyle get a better pitch right here. John Buck waiting on deck.
3-1. It's the corner. Strike 2. 3-2. One out, nobody on, and a full count here to Seager. Bouncing ball to Kendrick. 2 away. It's Friday, Mariners Fedora night here at Safeco Field. Fun, fashionable, and free to the first 20,000 fans. Mariners will be taking on the Tigers at a 7:10 start time. Step up your head game when you get your tickets at mariners.com. Early look at it. And Christopher John Wilson. 2 outs in the 7th. The hitter John Buck. John DHing first time as a Mariner. 0 for 2 tonight. For 1.
John looking for his first home run as a Mariner. A little bit of a breeze tonight, blowing out to left field.
Two and 1.
Both starters pitching well in this one. Felix just a little bit better so far.
John Buck 15 home runs as a Met last year in 101 games. 2-1 pitch. Way outside. John's career home run best in the big leagues. A great year with Toronto in 2010. 281, 20 homers, 66 runs batted in 118 games. Take the walk. 2-out walk. That'll bring up Dustin Ackley, who's twice fouled out to the third baseman David Freese. That walk, the second issued by C.J. Wilson. Ball 1 to Dustin. Felix Hernandez. Walk 2, struck out 7. 2-hit shutout working.
The Mariners are finding themselves in some good counts. Seager in a 3-1 count, Buck in a 3-1 count, now 2-0 with Ackley. Hank Conger making a trip out to the mound. CJ closing in on 100 pitches. He's at 98 right now. Nobody throwing in the Angel bullpen.
There's topped at 127 2 starts ago against Tampa Bay, a 6-0 win. He went the route. Complete game. Two-0 to Ackley. Front side really flew open quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, and the pitch was right on the outside corner.
Kevin Jepson beating up 2-1. Count evens at 2-2. Mike Scioscia's ball club comes in with a record of 29-22. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Right back to C.J. Wilson, and that'll do it for the Mariners. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. 7 complete. Felix and the Mariners lead 2-0.
Nothing. We've been asking you to tweet your photos using the hashtag MarinersFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in the game. It's brought to you by AT&T, and we start off with Jamie and company here at the game tonight, and we've also got Tracy here, actually in the King's Court. She got to gnaw on the turkey leg, and hopefully she was at the beginning of the aisle. You know, guys, they pass those things down, so you want to be at the beginning of the aisle, not the end of the aisle.
Good tip.
Immune booster. That's what that is.
I'm right with you, Auntie. Good call. Gnawing on it. It was a good. I just had to name a thing in a second. 2-0 Mariners.
Eric Aybar will lead off for the Angels. Eric 1 for 2 tonight. Got a base hit into right field his last time up.
Bonnie Raitt. That's what I was thinking. I had a song called Gnawing on It. That's right.
Charlie Furbush starting to get loose in the pen.
Not a surprise that Aybar would show bunt.
Smart player. He knows they need some base runners. Kyle Seager playing even with the bag at third.
Third consecutive game. Felix pitching into the 8th. Nice pitch in the outside corner. 4th time this season into the 8th. An 8 1/3, just missed the complete game at Oakland back on April 5th. 1-2 as they clamor for strikeout number 8. Didn't get it. 2-2.
Felix now at 96 pitches. His season high is 113. That was against the Texas Rangers back in April.
That early indoctrination. He's into it. 2-2. Line drive, Cano. No fuss, no muss. One out here in the 8th. Join Mariners greats Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez, and Dan Wilson for the 2nd annual All-Stars Softball Classic for Homeless Youth. Bring your family and friends to Safeco Field on Saturday, June 21st at 3 p.m. and show some love for our community's young people. For ticket information, visit www.uwkc.org. One out, and that brings up Cole Calhoun. Tapper back to Felix in a strikeout. Foul ball, strike one.
Medina joining Charlie in the pen. Felix now at 98 pitches.
Seager will take it. One up, 2 down.
I was watching that play. I thought for a second Felix may dive for it. I don't think he realized Kyle was playing so close at third. Little chopper, and Felix gets off the mound, wants to get to it badly. He's getting late into the game, but Kyle, now you can see Kyle calling him off, even telling him that he's there, so Felix lets it go. Good athlete.
Ultra competitive.
Yeah.
7 consecutive batters retired. 2 outs, 8th inning. Hank Conger. Catcher batting in the 8-hole. Ball 1.
Mariners put the shift on with Conger hitting. And you can see it. Nick Franklin, the shortstop, on the right side of the infield.
Two-0. Mike Zunino, 2nd inning, 2 out, 2-run single. The only scoring this evening. Good pitching matchup. Felix Hernandez and C.J. Wilson. 2-0. Back with a strike. They have been entertained so far here tonight. Not a big Kings court, but vocal nonetheless. 2-1. Breaking ball and a beauty. 2-2.
Mariners will keep the shift on, but now they'll move Kyle Seager over on the right side of the infield. Nick Franklin goes back to his shortstop position.
2-2 to Conger. He got him. Strikeout number 8. 8 consecutive retired. He did it on 12 pitches in the 8th inning, and the King, he rules 2-0. Franklin. James Jones coming up. Root Sports is looking for the ultimate Mariner fan in the state of Oregon throughout the month of May, which means you only have a few days left. Send us your photo and story using hashtag UltimateNWFan or Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or by email at ultimatefan@rootsports.com. And you can win a trip for two to Safeco Field for Fan Appreciation Night in September. Personalized Mariners jersey and more. For official rules, go to rootsports.com. Comfortable night here at Safeco Field here in Seattle. Mike Zunino. 2-out, 2-run single and a 3-1 pitch in the second inning. Kind of for both runs. Here's a high fly ball. Deep to left center field. Trout going back, and it is gone! Mike Zunino makes it 3-0 Mariners. His 7th home run, his 3rd RBI tonight. He's got 21 on the season.
A little extra room for Felix Zunino. What a night, driving in all 3 Mariner runs. This is 7th home run of the year. Ties smoke for the team lead. Take a look at it. Gets a fastball 90 miles an hour in the middle of the plate. Wasn't sure if he had enough of it. It was a towering fly ball out to left field, but just enough to get into the pen.
Good catch out there.
Yes, it was.
You know what I was thinking as I'm watching Trout? How many have we seen him take away? Home runs?
Well, he tried. He went up on the wall, and it was close enough probably to where he was going to get it, but I was thinking the same thing because it was so high. He had plenty of time to time his jump as he climbed the wall, but fortunately it was deep enough to where he couldn't get to it. And nobody throwing in the Mariner pen. Typically you would see Rodney going right about now, but it looks like Felix is going to come back out and pitch the 9th.
I like that.
Another look at the swing by Mike. Not much of a stride for him. He's a strong man. And then you'll see Trout going up, climbing the wall, trying to get to it.
This was earlier. Felix and Lloyd.
That was a short conversation.
3-1 to Nick Franklin. Fouls it off. Lloyd got to feel good. He had his big horse out there. Felix is giving him 8 strong. He's going to give him a chance to go out for a complete game. Last complete game, take you all the way back as Franklin's gone. Take you back to his last complete game in August of 2012. Join Mariners legend Dan Wilson, Jay Buhner, Edgar Martinez for the United Way Celebrity Softball Classic for homeless youth at Safeco Field Saturday, June 21st. Sonics legends Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, as well as Seattle Seahawks Jermaine Kearse and Cliff Averill, plus many more are going to be on hand. Get your tickets at uwkc.org/softball.
James Jones 1 for 3 tonight. And a couple of breaking balls. C.J. Wilson now up to 111 pitches, 67 strikes.
Up, down, crossfire. Fernando Rodney now is up in the Mariner bullpen.
Just playing some catch just in case.
Two. One hopper down to Freeze. This is time, throws him out. 2 away. Now bring up Stephen Romero. How about that? What was a towering fly ball for a home run.
As high as he hit it, I wasn't sure that he had enough of it.
Yeah, exactly. And then as you watch Trout, we saw him, what a classic he did in Baltimore. He did one against the Mariners in Anaheim. And there's been a couple more.
Again, I started to worry about it when I saw him timing his climb up that wall. I thought maybe he was going to get to it, but just too deep, which was good for Zunino getting his 7th home run. Stephen Romero will step in. He's 1 for 3. He had a base hit his last time up, base hit into right field.
Oh, that hit him. That hurt like heck. Jeez. Mariners have been plunked now 24 times. And Romero, that's the 4th time he's been hit.
Got him on the elbow. And Mike Scioscia heading out to the mound.
He's going to go get his ace, bring in Kevin Jepson. C.J. Wilson is gone after 7 2/3, trailing 3-0. The difference, number 34 on the mound.
Felix had it working early in the game. A good fastball early, topping out at 95 miles an hour. And then as the game progressed, started to use his breaking ball and changeup more. A lot of strikeouts for him again against these Angels. So far, 8 strikeouts in this game. Well-located fastball right there. His location tonight has been excellent. There's the changeup and another changeup for you.
Lloyd telling him apparently that's going to be enough, because now Fernando Rodney out of the bullpen.
So. I think just in case.
Yeah, he's throwing in earnest right now, I'll say that. But I wouldn't mind seeing a complete game from Phillies.
Neither would I. For C.J. Wilson, 7 2/3. He only pitched well. 5 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned thanks to Mike Zunino. A couple of walks, 5 strikeouts, 115 pitches, 68 of those for strikes. Michael Saunders has come on to pinch a run for Romero.
Cano 0 for 3. Tapper back to the mound and bounced into 2 3-6-3 double plays.
Marty Jepson!
Two outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
For Jepson, his 21st appearance on the year, 4.5 ERA, 23 strikeouts in 16 innings. It's a good number for him. Opponents hitting just 172. He's given up 2 home runs this year. Hard throwing right-hander.
Cano 2 for 7 against him career. Here's the 0-1. Only the Boston Red Sox have been hit by more pitches than the Mariners. Corey Hart one of the league leaders. Before he went on the DL, plunked 6 times in 37 games.
Well, you mentioned that they've been hit 24 times. They were only hit 31 times the entire year last year.
Is it something they said?
I don't think so.
Boy, that's just one of those, quirks and strange things you'll see in baseball. It's not like the Mariners have a belligerent pitching staff. Off the fist, down the line, into Bartman territory. 1-2. Colin Cowgill giving chase. One and two to Cano with 2 outs. Top of the 9th for the Angels. It'll be Cowgill, Kendrick, and Trout. 9-1-2. Saunders, the runner at first. And Cano strikes out, and that'll do it. Tough night for Robbie, 0 for 4. As you mentioned, Cowgill, Kendrick, Trout. Felix coming out, going for that complete game. 3-0 Mariners. Strikeout performance for Felix Hernandez, and he's going for his first complete game since August 27th of 2012, a 1-0 gem at Minnesota. If he gets it, it'll be his 24th career complete game. Going old-fashioned here, Mike.
Yes, sir. I like it. I like the fact that Felix wanted to stay in there. He typically does, but Lloyd decided right now it's time of the year. Why not? Only thrown 104 pitches through the first 8 innings, so he's in good shape there.
Way ahead of Cowgill, who struck out once tonight and also walked. Small but vocal Kings Court. High amp right now, 0-2. Got him! Here's Zunino, the offensive hero, throws down the first, 1 out.
9th strikeout for Felix. Again, his last 3 outings against the Angels, 10-plus strikeouts, trying to make it 4 in a row, so he needs 1 more strikeout. And this looks like the changeup. It is. There's the circle change grip. bottom falls out of it. Looks like he hit right on top of the plate.
I've got 9 consecutive hitters retired. Back to the top of the order, Howie Kendrick. First pitch, strike to Howie. Howie 1 for 3. Got a 4th inning single to center. Took second on a walk and was thrown out trying to steal third.
You can see it. Next pitch will be 110.
Felix also trying to win for the 4th consecutive time.
He has been efficient. Look at those numbers.
Drive to center field. Jones makes the catch. 2 down. Hit it on the line, but there's 2 outs. And Felix an out away from a good old-fashioned complete game.
Well, he'll get the hitter that's been the toughest on him in his career, and that is Mike Trout. Again, Trout hitting .390 in his career off of Felix. Felix has been able to hold him hitless tonight. 0 for 2 with a walk.
Felix Hernandez hits the Trout off the inside corner for ball 1. He has dominated the 2, 3, and 4 hitters tonight. 1-0. Line drive. There's Trout with a base hit. First one from their 2, 3, 4 hitters. They're 1 for 9.
Well, after missing with the first pitch, Trout being aggressive on a fastball, hits it hard into left field. Felix at 112 pitches.
Albert struck out, fly to left, fly to center. 2 outs to Trout at first. He'll take second on indifference as Albert looks at strike 1.
Angels 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position. As you look at Rodney out in the pen, he's ready to go. Haven't had a lot of opportunities in this one.
9 strikeouts, 2 walks by Felix. Trout will hold at second. Two outs with Trout at second. 1-1 pitch here to Pujols. This backhand by Zunino. 2-1. Felix not showing it, but you know he is amped up big time right now. His crowd 13,895 on its feet.
He can taste it. He wants to finish this game. You saw the brief conversation with Lloyd. It looked like Lloyd just asked him, "Are you okay?" And Felix, quick answer, back out there. So he wants to finish this one. Pitch count up to 115 now.
2-1 to Pujols. Down the line, that's trouble into the corner. Trout's going to score. There goes the shutout. Bounces around as Saunders will retrieve. And Pujols into second for an RBI double. Albert is 14th double, his 32nd RBI.
And that will do it. Lloyd McClendon coming out of the dugout. That's a shame. What an outing for Felix Hernandez. Back-to-back base hits. Keep him from getting this complete game.
Felix went 8 1/3 back on April 5th at Oakland. That's the closest he's come to a complete game this season. And he'll go to a big ovation. Well deserved. Special night for the King. He goes 8 2/3. Gives up a run here to the Angels on a Pujols RBI double. Now it's up to Fernando Rodney to shut the door. 3-1 Mariners.
Close things out. The Mariners lead at 3-1. Hi, everyone. Angie Mentink here at the Ford Sports Desk. Sure, we would have loved to see Felix Hernandez finish this game, throw a complete game, but at the same time, it sure was fun to hear the crowd give him a standing ovation. Now, coming up, we're going to hear from Felix on the post-game show. Jen Mueller will grab Mike Zunino on his way off the field. Not only did he catch Felix, but he was the offensive star in this one. We'll also hear from Justin Smoak. Lots to get to on the post-game show, guys.
All right, Angie, thank you very much. First things first, Rodney with 2 outs, man at second, tying run at the plate, David Freese, who's 1 for 2 career against Fernando. First pitch. A strike met with a raucous roar up to 13,895 here at Safeco Field.
Rodney, good fastball. He'll be 95 miles an hour. Great changeup around 80, 81.
Freese 2 strikeouts and a ground out to Smoak. Felix got the 2 outs here in the 9th and gave up a single and a double. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Rodney. Paints that corner. 93 miles an hour, way ahead, 0-2. Trying to lock it up right here. 0-2 to Freese. Line drive. Nick Frankton makes the catch. Mariners win 3-1. Back to 500 at 26 and 26. A gem by Felix Hernandez and Mike Zunino, the hitting star. 2-run single in the second inning with 2 outs and a 3-1 count, and then a leadoff homer in the 8th.
And Felix Hernandez now at 7 and 1 an outing for him. The only shame tonight is that he wasn't able to finish the game. But Lloyd McClendon thinking he'd gone too far, already run scored in the 9th inning. But what an outing for Felix and Mike Zunino. The battery tonight. Mike Zunino along with Felix. Tremendous game for those 2 guys against C.J. Wilson. Wilson had been pitching well, looking for his 7th win. Did not get it tonight. And Rodney, his 13th save.
So Felix 4 consecutive wins now. He's 7-1. Rodney picks up his 13th save. They get it done in 2 hours and 40 minutes. Mariners back to 500. And we begin our pregame programming right now with Brett Adam and Bill Kruger.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. Fernando Rodney hugging.